Hello everyone, welcome back to Kathy Rain, and we are off to see the ever-elusive Charles
All right,
Wade.
I'm off. Peace outie.
Peace out.
Okie dokie. Good luck and see you later.
Oh, wait a second. We have three new places. We have a church, we have a nature reserve, and we have a clinic. Let's start with the nature reserve. I'm most curious about that. I see the flower. I see a shovel.
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken. I'm not sure what I expected to find here. I need to clear my head.
Oh, hello?
What the?
Why, hello there! You have laid eyes on this dapper fellow once before, haven't you?
The red man! Oh, the one that Nathan was talking about. Why can't you be a little bit less rude?
Nope, just no. I'd remember a creepy bald dude with makeup.
Memories can deceive, Kathy. Dig deeper.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
It is my calling to know people like you, those shackled by their past, yet yearning for change.
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending. I will try to facilitate.
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the one who slipped away, filled with secrets. While she may be free in death, her cold, wet hands still trap many in painful ignorance.
What is this, Woodstock Poetry Slam? Mine speaking like a normal person?
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed a color in its stead. The next time we meet, you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. Follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
Wait, what? How did I get here? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into Mom?
So maybe your mom wasn't crazy.
Oh, hello, dear. Glad to see you again so soon.
Hi, Grandma. I just thought I'd drop by.
Sure, hon. Stay as long as you'd like.
This is the room that we saw that man in red in Kathy's dream. Just like it was a little bit changed, but this is the room.
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
Oh wait, I forgot to read this too.
What do you see in this picture, Grandma?
I have no idea, but it's quite an eerie display. What is it?
I'm trying to figure that out. I found the picture hidden in the attic.
Oh, come to think of it, the trees do look similar to the ones in Conwell Woods.
Yeah, it was taken somewhere in that area. I found out that the flower in the picture matches a rare local species.
Aren't you clever? Do let me know if you come across anything else.
Right, I will stop
Bye,
talking
Grandma.
with you for
I'll be
a
back later.
moment.
So long.
Because I forgot about this too.
It's a photocopy of a book page with information about the red scythe flower. Here's an interesting segment. Another interesting trait of the red scythe is the smell, which is familiar to that of a pepper. The pollen of the plant has also been known to cause hallucinations in concentrated amounts. Native American tribes harvested and smoked the plant for that reason, but the flower never caught on as a modern recreational drug due to the difficulty of growing it.
That is interesting. So maybe what you saw just now wasn't a dream, but was a hallucination of sorts. Oh,
It's the nature reserve, where the smoky lights were photographed. A prominent cliff top near the highway, likely the most popular tourist spot in the area. Conwell Woods. What were you doing out there, Grandpa?
hiking.
Conwell Lake, where Lily Myers met her demise. That looks like the town area itself. One of the oldest Air Force bases in the US. Grandpa was stationed there during the war.
Is there anything else about this map?
Conwell Woods. What were you doing out there, Grandpa?
So this whole area is the woods. Highway.
Route 70, leading back to the city.
That wasn't much of a help.
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
Do you know anything about this flower, Grandma?
I can't say that I do. I remember seeing it growing in the woods, but I didn't think much of it at the time.
I don't want to show her that.
Alright, we're done here then.
See you later, Grams.
Take care, dear.
Do I try the nature reserve again? I think I should try it.
Hello? Creepy bald guy. Guess no one's home.
Perfect. Piece of paper.
That wasn't here before.
And what is that? Oh! The Nathan's drawing.
Hey, is this shovel taken? Good enough for me.
Awesome. Exit. The flower. That may cause hallucinations.
Looks like a specimen of the red scythe. It's endangered. I'm not going to take it without a really good reason.
Anything else here? No, I don't think so. Oh, the next would be the church or the clinic. Church or clinic, church or clinic. Let's go to the church. It is beautiful in here.
Hello, Father.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
I did. Rumors spread quickly around here. So how can I be of service?
I suppose let's start with the accident.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a fate. You heard my speech at the funeral, Kathy. I meant every word. He was a great man who did much good for this community.
Did you know him personally?
In a way, he and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated on a few different projects for the homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh, yes. I was a teenager back then. Full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride and showed me how I should follow my heart, regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Oh, was it your father that was cocky?
Do you know anyone who goes by the nickname Cocky?
I have no idea. Sorry.
I feel like maybe that was his father, that is Cocky.
Does the name Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. Before I was ordained, I was a substitute teacher in her high school.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
All right, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school a lot. And when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like she had the whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is, when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
What's your opinion on Charles Wade?
No opinion. He used to be a prominent figure around here, but he doesn't appear much in town these days.
Actually, he's in the community clinic right now, getting medical treatment.
Oh, I wonder if it's serious. Perhaps I should go talk to him. Even men like Charles Wade need a priest when they're nearing the end of the line.
Do you know anything about Lily Myers' art?
I saw a few pieces, gorgeous work, vibrant, surreal landscapes.
When was this?
Must have been mid-70s. High school had open days with an art exhibition.
So, this was some time before she changed, right? You didn't see any of her later work?
No. By then, she started skipping art class completely, from what I heard.
Maybe she was afraid of what she might draw. I hear it was pretty twisted.
Could be. But alas, I suppose we will never know what was truly haunting her.
I'm doing my best to find out. I don't believe the story to be as clear-cut as everyone makes it out to be.
An unusual theory. How so?
People have taken a particular interest in her art. I think there's more to it.
I wouldn't read too much into it, my child. It happens to all dead artists with any talent to speak of.
Is he suspicious? Or not really? Can I decide?
Care to tell me the history of the church?
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman and was driving through this area as he had done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The sign of God. This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed, the stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone where.
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983. That's when I stepped in to take leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you, the church is still very much thriving.
Looks kinda empty to me.
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
I could, but I think I have more to gain from a subtle strategy. I'll keep it to myself for now, until I know more about this church.
Okay.
Do you recognize the men in this picture, Isaac?
Only your grandfather. And that's just because I was given a similar picture at the service the other day.
Is there anything else?
I don't need to show him that. Father, do you know anything about this flower?
No, my child, nothing at all.
That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
Impressive window. There's no doubt about it. Those are the smoky lights.
Beautifully done. There are 2 doors and what, nothing else? To click on? Altar.
It's an altar. You know, the place where they put the sacrificed goats, kids, and other crap. Locked.
Oh, Bibles.
Locked. I really shouldn't. They might burn.
I see. Well, then we are down here, right? Finally, let's go and see Charles Wade. Doesn't look really presentable. It is the bum from the jail. Seems so.
We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing I ever heard of, and totally untrue.
So, what's up with the trash can? Digging for treasure?
Well, I'm just going through a rough patch. By the way, you owe me $10.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Better get those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a stake through the heart.
What do they call you anyway?
Goober. Everyone calls me Goober.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
So, what's your story anyway?
My story?
Yeah, don't all bums have a story?
For your information, this is all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on. I have starred in dozens of Hollywood movies. The Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, The Usual Surprises, Natural Bald Killers.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
So he can help somehow.
Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in 81?
I most certainly do.
What? Tell me.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
Oh.
I should have known better.
Oh, I saw it, man. A big, huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taken the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's why he was so messed up when they put him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Open your mind, man.
Come on, Kathy. That makes sense.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky?
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam. Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Why do I even bother? Do you know who Lily Myers was?
Yep, my dad was the one who found her floating in the lake.
Really? What can you tell me about her?
Ah, geez, not a lot. I mean, teenage girls, man, they're like their own species. Impossible to figure out. Not to mention how that entire family ain't, like, people-friendly.
Now that's an understatement. Nearly started brawling with Sue the first time I met her.
She could sure deal out a mean whooping, that lady.
Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still walking, at least.
What do you know about Lily Myers' art?
Nothing but hearsay. People say it was pretty deranged.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac the priest is, anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
What kind of weird shit?
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Interesting. Do you know anyone else who was involved in the old church?
Not really. I tried to stay as far away from those people as possible. Ask Isaac about it. He's a friendly guy.
All right. I might do that.
Yeah, that's a good information, thank you.
Do you know anything about this flower?
It's red?
Enlightening. I don't need to show him that. Do you know what this is?
Chinese fireworks, of course. I grew up in Shanghai. I know what I'm talking about. They used to call me Dong Pai, meaning round-eyed baldy. Those were some rough years. I miss the food, not to mention the women. Got 2 kids down there now, Mei Lin and Little Ping.
Time to hit the off switch now, buddy. Do you recognize these men?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah. What about the other 2?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Okay.
Alright, are we done then?
Okay, that's enough serious questions for now.
Alrighty.
Nice talking to
Okay,
you.
I'm off.
Bye.
Yep, it's full of trash. Figure that.
I love trash cans in games. Sometimes they can provide some interesting insights. So is there anything that... No. I just need to come inside, I guess. Okay, let's go. Magazines, chairs, upstairs, files, news, computer, calendar, ashtray.
No thanks. I have better things to do. Uncomfortable, hard plastic chairs. It's like they're intentionally trying to keep people out. A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year.
Is it 1997? 95? Don't remember which year that is.
A computer. They likely keep records of their patients on it. Excuse me, nurse? Hey, nurse!
She's busy.
Yeah? They don't pay you much, huh?
No shit. What do you want?
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
I need to get rid of her somehow.
So it won't be easy to get there.
I can't read it from here. Smoking allowed. Guess this place is a bit behind on healthcare regulations. Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging. Was expecting plastic, but this looks like a real plant.
Okay, so what is the plan?
I prefer to smoke outdoors.
I wanted to create some kind of fire, maybe?
I'm trying to cut down on the pyromania.
Bad decision. I don't know even.
Not sure what I'd want to dig up there.
A plant, magazines, files,
I'm trying to cut down on the pyromania.
computer, news. I don't know. Oh,
I wish, but she'd just call security on me.
oh,
Time for a smoke break, don't you think?
What?
You smoke?
No way. Those things will kill you.
so that will not work.
That'd be one raggedy-ass bribery attempt.
Would be funny.
I don't want to show her that.
Oh, my friend. He might be able to help me somehow.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi!
So, tell me about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
Oh,
Tell me about The Silence of Lambert.
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns mute overnight. For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using a self-invented sign language, only to realize that true love needs no communication at all. He marries his housekeeper, who only knows 2 words in English, yes and clean. In the end, Lawrence dies of a heart attack in the arms of his lovely wife, Consuelo Lambert Vasquez. Based on a true story.
I'm not sure I want to know what Jacob's Bladder is about, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder. During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week and he dies from a ruptured bladder.
romantic.
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
Natural Bald Killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school. One day, he has simply had enough of all the teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps and heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
And now the most important questions of all.
Why do you always die at the end of your movies?
Typecasting.
So this all was very good, but that didn't help
never
me.
mind.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
With the news.
So, how good an actor are you?
The best! The very best!
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies, and that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I knew it. She always gave me these strange looks. I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
Oh. Does it make difference?
Definitely Jacob's Bladder.
I'm feeling the pressure. Oh, Jenny, everything is forgiven. You and me were like peas and carrots. I'm just so full of your love that I think I'm about to burst. Jenny, where did you go? Oh, I don't feel so good. Thank you. You've been a great audience.
Okay, that didn't work out.
That wasn't really an electrifying performance. I'll have to intervene somehow.
Using the stun gun.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
Hey, how about another show?
Sure. Any suggestions?
How about the usual surprises?
Business as usual. I can't believe you guys did all this for me. You know, what's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing.
Nurse, he's seizing! Oh, shit! Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later.
That's fine, it all worked.
Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. Ugh, what a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
I mean, we know the name, but the password. C. Mendez. Oh.
Crap. Looks like I have to figure out the username some other way.
Otorgador. Yay! Name Charles Wade. Charles. Is it Z or is it S? Wade.
Gotcha.
Patient has undergone successful invasive heart surgery and was transferred to this facility at his own request. The initial prognosis looks good and the patient is likely to make a full recovery in 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, room 6B.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
That's not what this is about. It's personal.
Sounds serious. Perhaps I should ask Claude to produce his gun.
You know, Charles, the person most likely to be harmed by a gun tends to be its owner.
Very true. That's something the Japs who captured me learned the hard way.
Did my grandfather bail you out then too, or was that one of the few times where he didn't save your sorry ass?
Hold on there. Explain yourself.
You're willing to listen to something other than your own voice? I'm stunned. I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Phew. Let's be honest, I don't even want to talk with him. He's unpleasant.
Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran, taken shortly before we went to the war.
That guy's name is Jimmy Cochran?
Yes. He used to go by the nickname Cocky. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Ah, I see.
So that mystery is kind of solved?
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
I don't need to show him that. Do you know what this is?
A flower? Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
I don't need to show him that.
Then let's move on to questions.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in 81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph, but he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
I have no idea.
So our family started drifting apart. Eventually my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
Jimmy Cochran.
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us, more than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sioux and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
That is very interesting, indeed.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
So I assume that is all.
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
He suddenly became much kinder than he was initially. I find that strange. Cloth, paintings, gramophone.
Looks like Wade brought some of his old tombs with him. Just some boring landscape paintings. A private phone. Wade must get special privileges here.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day.
So it seems like nothing is left to do here, right? The nurse isn't back. I guess I need to go and see my grandmother. Where is the exit? And maybe sheriff. No, but she told that she wanted to do it next time, I think. Or was it about something else?
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is? He was a friend of Grandpa's.
I believe he teaches at the flight school these days.
I don't think so, at least not anymore. I was told he was placed in a mental facility.
Really? He always struck me as a kind man, maybe a bit nervous and on edge, but not crazy.
There's more. I found out that Jimmy asked Grandpa for help not long before Grandpa ended up in that wheelchair. Jimmy sounded really desperate. I'm sure what happened to Grandpa that night had something to do with his cry for help.
You should go find the man then. Surely he must know something.
That's the plan. I just wondered if there's anything else you think I should know about him.
Not really. We haven't stayed in touch since Joseph was injured. I know that he had a wife, Agatha, and a son, James. Agatha passed away from cancer years ago, but as far as I know, James still lives in the city with his family.
Okay, thanks, Grandma. I don't see a reason to ask her about that.
All right then.
I don't want to show her that. See you later, Grams.
Take care, dear.
Let's go see Sheriff. For once, he will surely talk with me, right?
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
Do you know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned ahead about that. Lenny!
Yes, boss.
Get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86.
On it, boss. There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy.
Is that all? Okay. The alarm in the Wade estate is triggered, the house is empty at the time, and the neighbors contact law enforcement. Officers arrive at the scene, several broken windows can be observed. A sweep of the estate and surrounding premises reveal no trace of the perpetrators. A single witness, identified as Franklin Goldfarb, reports seeing multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime. Charles Wade arrives in Cornwall Springs to make an official statement. After examining the house, he reports that paintings with an excess value of $15,000 have been stolen. The art in question has not yet popped up in any circles that are known to deal with stolen goods, terminating investigation due to lack of leads.
I gotta find this Goldfarb guy. Maybe he knows more about the burglary.
Lenny, I need you to do something.
How can I help, boss?
It's my mother's birthday this weekend. You'll have to get her a gift.
Gift? Like what? I don't really know your mother.
For Christ's sakes, all moms are the same. Just use your imagination. I'm expecting something nicely wrapped on my desk by the end of the week.
Okay, boss.
Let's check up on these two. Hello, beauty.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
No.
No Nathan today?
Nah, haven't seen Nate all day. Probably out in the woods.
Oh, right. Definitely the missing half. Right?
Looks like Nathan knows the strange red man. I need to talk to him about this.
Exactly. That really seems important. No, I don't have the drawing anymore on me.
I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
I don't need to ask her about that. Did you know that somebody stole Lily's paintings from Wade?
Huh? I knew he got robbed a few years back, but I thought he still had them all.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
It's a good church. I go there from time to time. I bring Nate, too, when that boy needs the fear of God put into him.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
You mean Goober? Nobody calls him Franklin anymore.
Oh, that's Goober's real name? Gotcha.
I see.
Do you know who the Red Man is?
Oh, that's just Nate's imaginary friend. The Red Man has been around ever since my boy was little.
I see. So there's no actual person in town he could be referring to?
No way! According to Nathan, the red man hasn't changed in 30 years.
The red man actually exists. I met him in the forest.
What? That's crazy talk. Stop kidding around. I am not in the mood.
Yeah, that was too much.
Sue, what do you see in this picture?
My God, that looks like one of Lily's paintings.
Wow, really? Can you describe it?
It was a nighttime scene, just like the photo, but the lights were floating above the lake. There was a pale hand reaching up from beneath the surface trying to touch them. The forest in the background was on fire, making the sky purple and red. There were probably other details too, but that's what I can remember.
Sounds captivating. Wish I could have seen it.
Yeah.
No reason to show her that. Do you know anything about this flower?
Sure. Smoked it a few times back in the day, before it was endangered and all.
Yeah? What was it like?
Similar to pot, but stronger and more unpredictable. Never touched this stuff after I got pregnant with Lily.
All right.
I guess I have no other questions.
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
So I need to find Nate. And I suppose he's probably in the woods. Or maybe not. Didn't I have some kind of question to ask Isaac?
Hello, Isaac. I've got a few more questions for you.
I'm all ears, my child.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
I don't recognize that name, no.
Do you know anything about an art theft at the Wade estate in the 80s?
I have just a vague memory of reading about it in the paper.
Do you know who Franklin Goldfarb is?
I'm afraid not, my child.
This may sound strange, but have you heard of or seen a strange man dressed in red?
Only our Lord and Savior Jesus. Surely his rags were drenched in blood as he lay upon the cross.
That's not what I meant. I mean someone here in Conwell Springs.
Are you joking? I haven't seen a person like that, no.
I guess people don't wear red here.
That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
Well, I need to find the Guba. Maybe let's visit the cemetery. Not to find Guba. I think maybe like that boy is back, or maybe Nathan is here. Well, the boy is not back, and Nathan isn't here.
A family mausoleum. Isaac's family must be pretty rich. Those things don't come cheap.
Yeah, now we know that is his family. I'm trying to find some familiar names. Like, we've met some people and we've seen some names. So I think maybe there is some kind of connection. No, nothing. Alright. No, he's not back. Where do I find him then? Well, she's here.
I need a word, Miss Mendez.
Wait, how do you know my name?
It's written on that board behind you, genius.
You have the eyesight of a bald eagle or something?
What can I say? I'm a freak of nature. What happened to Goober, anyway?
Who?
The guy who had the seizure?
Oh, he ran off somewhere. Kept babbling about a religious near-death experience.
Okay, thanks.
But where do I find him then? I need to find him. Is he back inside there?
No need to do that again. Besides, I think that poor plant has suffered enough.
Okay, so he probably isn't there. And he isn't here either. Maybe Lenny knows something.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Sounds familiar, but I can't place him.
Nah, I don't want to ask him about that. Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Not really, Kathy. Sorry.
Do you know anything about a weird bald guy dressed in red around here?
You're joking, right?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, wait, the picture.
Do you know what this is?
I have no idea. Looks creepy, whatever it is. Where did you get it?
Grandpa had it hidden away in the attic.
Probably for a good reason, then. Be careful out there.
Let's try, Sheriff.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Nope.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Do you know anything about a weird bald guy dressed in red around here?
What the hell are you talking about?
Never mind. Do you know what this is?
It's just some kids playing pranks with flashlights.
Maybe Goober is in the church if he had a religious near-death experience or something like that. Yes, he is here.
Hello again, Goober.
You again? Are you stalking me, girl? You pop up everywhere I go. I'll try to tone down the charm, but I can't promise anything.
Huh, yeah, you're quite the charmer.
I know. I just said that, man.
Listen, I feel kind of bad about the electrocution.
Oh, that's what it was. What a cherry on top of my stellar performance.
Yeah, it was pretty convincing.
So what brings you to the house of God? Come to repent?
I'm afraid that ship has long since sailed, buddy. I had a few things I wanted to ask you about, though.
Shoot, Missy!
Your real name is Franklin Goldfarb, right?
Oh, nobody calls me that.
Regardless, I know for a fact that you were a witness to a burglary a few years back at the Wade Estate.
Yeah, what about it?
Why don't you tell me what you saw exactly?
I heard the alarm go off, glass breaking, then I saw 3 guys running away, carrying a bunch of stuff.
What did they look like?
It was dark, I don't know, they were definitely 3 big, bulky guys. They
what?
Oh, nothing, that's it. Didn't see anything else.
Bullshit, spit it out.
Well, one of those guys dropped his ring when running away. I sort of pawned it.
A ring? What kind of ring?
Platinum with an inscription. 2 letters, B something.
H.
Man, I don't remember. My photographic memory stopped working in 1979.
Which pawn shop was that?
Pete's Pawning and Plumbing. It closed down a long time ago, though. Owner left town. There's a coffee shop back there now.
Too bad. Guess that's a dead end. Thanks anyway. Didn't I see 2 letters fitting that description recently? Not on a building. It was something small.
Exactly.
Did the inscription on the ring look anything like this?
Wow, actually exactly like that.
I don't need to ask him about that. I should probably confront him directly about him being a witness.
Well, that is done.
Any idea what BH stands for?
Beehive? Bet high? Big head?
I don't need to ask him about that.
So, are we down here then?
Do you recognize these men?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah. What about the other 2?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Okay. Okay, that's all for now.
See ya!
There are a few things I need to ask you, Grandma.
Very well, dear.
Do you recognize the acronym BH? It's on Dad's lighter.
Yes, dear, it means the Black Hats. They're those ruffians on motorcycles whom your father associated with.
Oh, his biker gang. That makes sense. I don't see a reason to ask her about that. What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
I refuse to talk about those hoodlums. They turned your father into a horrible person. You should stay far away from them, Kathy. They're awful people, just awful.
Bye, Grandma. I'll be back later.
So long.
Do I need to come back to Charles? Can I come back to see him again? Oh yeah, that worked.
I had some more questions, Charles.
I'm listening.
What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
Not much. They used to stir up all sorts of trouble, but Truman kept them in check.
What about now? Are they still active?
I believe they are. Given the incompetence of Sheriff Boyks, I'm sure they're having a field day out there.
Do you know where I can find them?
Not exactly. They have a clubhouse somewhere outside of town, but that's all I know.
The clubhouse outside of town. We have a map.
I don't need to show him that.
But that wouldn't help
Thanks,
much.
Charles. That's all I need for now.
Who do I ask about that? I guess the sheriff.
What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
They've caused us trouble from time to time, but they've been kind of quiet lately. We put a few of their captains in the slammer over the years, but we never managed to find enough dirt on their leader. Bo Brunson. Big Bo.
Do you know where I can find them?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just find a map.
Got it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you,
Well,
Annie.
gotta go.
See ya.
I am actually thinking about ending this part because I've been playing for a while. Kathy will fit right in.
Sweet butt incoming!
Like hell I am. I'm nobody's property.
You sure? Doesn't she look like a sweet butt? I think she does.
Step off, creep.
Or what? You tell your daddy on me?
You better learn quickly, asshole. Back the fuck off.
Oh, I love it when they play hard to get.
Let go of me!
Yeah, that thing would be pretty fucking useful right now.
Well,
What the hell's going on out here?
Nothing, Prez. Just having a bit of fun with this gash here.
I suggest you leash that dog of yours.
For fuck's sake, Prospect, not again. Get the hell out of here.
Sorry, boss. I'll go.
bye.
He'll be disciplined for that.
He better be. I take it you're Bo?
I am. And who are you, darling?
Kathy Rain.
Bullshit. She lives in the city with her deranged mother. Who are you really? Did the Vandals send you?
No, they didn't. I am Kathy Rain.
Prove it then.
Well, I would, but I left my ID back home.
That's convenient. I think I've wasted enough time with you.
I need to figure out some proof.
I'm more interested in finding out how he knows about Kathy Rain. We have a photo here. Oh, no, the Zippo lighter.
This proof enough for you?
I'll be damned. That's Brian's lighter, all right. Sorry about the paranoia. We've had some problems with the Vandals lately.
I get it. Can't be too careful.
So, that's your ride out there. Corley Motors, right? 78?
76.
You got the same taste as your old man. He always rode Corleys.
Probably the only thing he and I have in common.
Did you set up those mods yourself? Looks custom made for your, small frame.
Yeah, took some time to get the measurements right.
I imagine so. Girls like you don't often ride heavy bikes.
I'm not most girls.
Ain't that the truth? Most girls don't just waltz into places like this either.
I guess you'd know. Anyway, I had some questions for you in the club.
Go ahead, then. Your old man was a good brother, so I'll indulge it for now.
Do you know anything about what happened to Joseph Rain in 1981?
No, we had our differences, me and him, but that's a horrible fate for a man. I'd rather be dead than a vegetable.
So I take it you and him didn't get along.
No, I could write a book about that man. On one page I'd praise him, on the next I'd want to smash his skull in. He could be a real self-righteous prick when he wanted to, that's for sure. But everyone knew he was the real law around here. Truman was a tool. I respected Joseph, and he respected me, but he hated how Brian looked up to me. Joseph always blamed the club for the path Brian chose in life, even though it was just due to him being a shitty father.
You seriously thought Grandpa was a bad parent?
Everybody knew about it. People just tend to forget the bad qualities of men in wheelchairs. Joseph wasn't a saint. He saw everything in black and white. He was only kind to whomever he considered to be good by his narrow moral standards. The ones who wouldn't fit in that small mold didn't get any chances, none whatsoever.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
No.
Do you know anything about Lily Myers?
Nothing that anyone else around here couldn't tell you.
Tell me, how long have you been the president of this club?
15 years now, give or take. VP for 10 before that.
Good. Then you can tell me why you stole Lily Myers' paintings from Charles Wade in '86.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'd recommend you be careful with wild accusations like that.
Oh, cut the bullcrap. I know it was you. I did some digging and found evidence pointing to the club.
Is that so? You better be a good girl and present it to the sheriff then.
I couldn't care less about ratting you out, Bo. I just need to know what you did with the art.
I have no intention of discussing your delusions as if they were facts, girl. Don't make me tell you again.
There has to be a way.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
Do I look like a pious man to you? I've peed on churches.
What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
Black Hats MC was founded in the 60s by my old man, my uncle, and 2 other local bikers. Conwell Springs is the mother chapter, and we have support clubs in 6 other locations across 3 states. There's a total of 16 members here, 12 patch, 4 prospects. I'm the acting president of this chapter as well as of the whole club. Have been for more than 15 years.
The law give you any trouble?
It used to be tough when your granddad was around. He and Truman ran a tight ship.
And now?
Now they try, but Boyks and the boy are a nuisance at best.
This may be a weird question, but have you ever met a bald man dressed in red?
I've made a few bald men red. That count?
Do you know what this is?
Whoa.
What? Do you recognize that?
I saw one of those with my own eyes a few years ago.
Really? Where?
Middle of the woods, the road to the city. Those things came from nowhere and gave me this crazy headache right on the plate in my head. At the time, I thought it was just a nasty case of migraine.
You have a plate in your head?
Yeah, titanium from a shrapnel wound I got in Nam.
I see. Titanium isn't the least bit magnetic, is it?
How the hell should I know? I'm no scientist.
Do you remember where exactly on the road it happened?
No. Like I said, I dismissed it as a migraine. Didn't pay too much attention as to where I was.
Fair enough. I don't need to show him that. Do you know anything about this flower, Bo?
Do I look like a florist to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
You crack me up, girl.
So are we done?
I don't need to show him that. All right, I'm gonna hit the road.
Right on. I have some business to take care of, but make yourself at home.
Thanks, Bo. See you around.
Hey, Brian's girl.
Yeah?
I overheard you. I'm Emmett.
Hey.
The boss man isn't usually that grumpy. He's got a lot on his mind. But I think I may know of a way to loosen him up.
I'm all ears, buddy.
Well, Bo and Brian are the double Bs, as we used to call them. I used to have this drink together. Brian came up with it. He called it a Bloodier Mary.
Sounds like my kind of drink.
Yeah, it's basically a Bloody Mary, but with pig blood instead of tomato juice.
I take that back. Gross.
I'm kidding. It's just a Bloody Mary, but with a special ingredient added to it.
If you say that special ingredient is blood, I will literally punch you.
No, Brian refused to tell anyone what it was. He only made it for special occasions. It's probably something uncommon, like a rare herb or some kind of expensive spice.
So let me guess. If I can produce this drink for Bo, you think he would help me out?
It'll make him remember Brian, which should go a long way. He hasn't had that drink since your old man disappeared. Brian was like a son to him. The boss would have died for him back in the day. If you could recall the good times with your father, he might change his mind.
I guess it could be worth a try. But wait, why are you helping me?
You're Brian's kid. That means you're family. We take care of family.
Well, how was that drink compared with a regular Bloody Mary?
Tasted a bit more like pepper and had a punch to it. It usually gave some pretty nasty hangovers. Oh, if you had a lot of them, you'd hallucinate some crazy shit. Pretty wild.
Trippy. Thanks.
You're welcome, darling.
I recognize the plant, but I think I will do it next time. For now, thank you for watching. See you next time. Have a nice day, night, morning. Bye bye.